What is up, my friends? Welcome to another edition of the XFL Weekend Review. I am your host, Mark Perry, editor of XFL News Hub. On this week's show, we go a full recap of all the players cut, signed, put on practice squads, former XFL players now in the NFL, XFL players no longer in the NFL or CFL. We go through all of that, plus the latest on Danny Garcia and The Rock, what's going on in The Rock's life, plus Bob Stoops, Steve Spurrier, maybe in the XFL 3.0 era. They might be interested. We get to that. Plus our own Matt Lyons talks to Dontez Byrd, wide receiver from the Seattle Dragons, about what's going on in his life, coming back to the XFL, how everything went down with him and his team during the whole pandemic deal. So we appreciate them as well being on the show. So how do you get in touch with the show? Plus we got your phone calls, emails, and all this other social media fun as well. So how do you get in touch with the show? Email podcast@XFL News Hub with your MP3 videos, or call 888-430-7692 extension 3. Remember to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show. So without further ado, folks, my friends, let's just get into the week that was the XFL. All right, the final cuts are in, and we have some XFL players making the 53-man roster, and some players getting cut, and some players making the practice squad. First up, who made the cut? P.J. Walker, quarterback, Roughnecks. He is with the Panthers. He made the roster. Donald Parham, tight end, Renegades. He's with the Chargers, along with Storm Norton, tackle, also with the Chargers. He made the team. And then Colin Thompson is on the Panthers, tight end. He made the roster as well. So basically 4 XFL players made the roster. A bunch were cut. We had 50 total players in the pool. A lot of them were cut. Some made the practice squad. Names like Jordan Ta'amu for the Chiefs, Jerron Jones for the Steelers, Nick Moore, the Ravens, Edmund Robinson, Falcons, Savion Smith, the Cowboys, Josh Hawkins, the Falcons, Jacquez Patrick, the Bengals, Anthony Coyle, Steelers, Khalil McKenzie, the Bengals, and Michael Dunn, the Browns. Those round out your practice squad players. Names that were cut: DeAndre Tompkins, John Toth, Cam Phillips did not make it, Will Clark, Ricky Walker, Pace Murphy, Connor Davis, Tyler Gunther, Andrew Soro, Juan Bushell Beatty, Devontae Lambert, Demorne Pearsonell, Zach Karen, Avery Genesee, Aaron Springs, John Kenoy, Austin McGinnis. He was there towards the end, trying to get that kicking job. Said Blacknall signed, resigned, then cut. Dwayne Hendricks, Christian Kurtz, Tyree Cannell, Kari Lee, he got an injury settlement. Kevin Walker, DeMarcus Gates, Drevon Askew Henry, and Dietrich Nichols all were cut from teams. Guys that had their season canceled in the CFL were Amani Edwards, Sergio Castilla, Jalen Saunders, Dontez Byrd, Ran Anthony Textera, Brandon Wilds, Channing Stribble, Dorian Grant, Mikhail McKay, and Alonzo Russell. Their season was cut short, with the CFL getting cut. So 50 guys in, 4 guys made the roster. We have, let's see, practice squad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 guys making the practice squad. Throw in Kenny Robinson was waived, but then was signed to the practice squad, which they don't really see that with 5th-round picks in the draft. I was a little surprised by that. So I don't know if his 5th-round rookie contract is involved anymore. He was cut. And there you have it. There is your list of players, 17-ish in all, making NFL rosters. It looks like Danny Garcia and The Rock are working hard to get the XFL 3.0 off the ground. XFL fans have been clamoring for any type of XFL news since the new ownership group has taken over a couple weeks ago. Is there going to be a season in 2021? Will they play in a bubble? Will some of the XFL teams relocate? These and more questions are left unanswered. However, that's just for now. See, buying any business out of bankruptcy clearly takes time, let alone an entire football league worth millions of dollars. And have no fear, there is action happening, but it's all kind of happening behind the scenes for now. On Sunday, XFL co-owner Danny Garcia tweeted out the following response to Houston Roughnecks wide receiver Cam Phillips signing with the Carolina Panthers. Quote, at XFL 2020, 24/7, chomping at the bit and doing the hard work to lock in the future, but taking a moment to appreciate the talent of the past. Hashtag for the love of football, close quote. This was in response to Pro Football Talk tweeting out about Cam Phillips signing with the Panthers. Then on Monday, The Rock posted this message on his Instagram, quote, my XFL helmets arrived to my office and holy bleep, I'm humbled and grateful at how full circle life can sometimes be. My dreams of playing in the NFL never came true, but now years later, I have the honor of buying an entire pro football league so the dreams of other players can come true. My trailblazing partner, Danny Garcia, first woman ever to own an entire U.S. sports league, and Jerry Cardinale, are passionate football owners who are committed to the grind to deliver awesome football for the fans and always take care of our hardworking, talented players. And finally, I keep a frame $7, the amount of money I had when I was cut from the Canadian Football League in 1995, on the top shelf here as a daily reminder to stay hungry, humble, and always be the hardest worker in the room. Hashtag League of Culture, hashtag League of Expression, hashtag League of Passion, hashtag League of the People, hashtag We Are the XFL. And that was sent out to The Rock's 191.4 million followers on his Instagram. That's a lot. Later, Danny Garcia responded to The Rock's Instagram post, quote, amazing! Exclamation point, so much work to do and so worth every moment. Hashtag for the love of football. So as you can see, everyone involved is working 24/7 to bring XFL 3.0 back the right way. The fear that ownership was buying the league and potentially doing nothing with it seems like it's not the case at all. What's interesting, though, is we get to take a couple looks at some of these hashtags they're using. We are the XFL, which is interesting, and that's a fine thing for the love of football. We are the XFL, kind of bringing in that family kind of atmosphere. But hashtag League of Culture, hashtag League of Expression, hashtag League of Passion, hashtag League of the People. Some really interesting potential future social media / kind of vibe that the XFL might bring when they return in the XFL 3.0 version. But as of right now, all of those questions are unanswered. All we do know is that there's a lot of legal stuff happening behind the scenes with leases and contracts and paying people and all sorts of stuff. I think those things need to be resolved first before we can actually get some announcements about where the XFL 3.0 is going. Spurrier hints that himself and Stoops are still interested in coaching spring leagues. That's right. XFL fans know Bob Stoops very well from his time with the Renegades. What you may not know is if he would return to the XFL. Well, the Athletic's Jason Kersey released an article last week tackling Stoops' second act after leaving Oklahoma. This is his tweet. Last week, I went to Fluffy's Liquor in Loughton and hung out with Coach Bob Stoops as he signed bottles of Rock Roll Tequila. I think that's part of his brand thing or something like that. During the article, there's a section discussing Stoops' short time in the XFL last season. This part of the article included a quote from former Florida and South Carolina coach Steve Spurrier. He mentioned in the quote both coaches interested in returning to college. Spurrier hinted at the idea that spring leagues like the XFL could be an option. Quote, he's sort of like all of us, Spurrier said of Stoops. He didn't really consider himself retired. Bob is content, just like I am. We don't have much desire to coach in college anymore, but those 4 to 6 months spring things would probably get our attention in the future, close quote. There's no secret Spurrier has mentioned before his interest in coaching in the XFL in the state of Florida, like in the Tampa Bay Vipers. It's also the first time, though, that XFL fans have an idea of what Stoops is thinking about during this time. Stoops was asked about the closure of the XFL after it happened in April due to you-know-what. He said, quote, "Unfortunate," Stoops said after the XFL closed the doors. "It was no one's fault. I don't think it's even fair to fault owner Vince McMahon either. At the end of the day, this virus situation has changed lives for everybody." Close quote. Stoops was the first hire of XFL 2.0 to lead the Dallas Renegades franchise, and really he was the biggest name to really got people looking at the XFL. It was a big-time get by Oliver Luck and team. He led the Dallas to a 2-3 season in 5 games, was sitting tied for second in the division, but they lost their quarterback. That was a problem throughout the season. But the question is, what's going on? Will Spurrier and Stoops, could they join the XFL 3.0? The truth of the matter, it doesn't necessarily mean that Stoops is returning, and it doesn't mean Spurrier will coach in the XFL either. But it is good sign that both coaches are kind of interested. Spurrier was 7-1 with the Orlando Apollos in their only season in 2019. Many fans claimed that they were the champions of the AAF. So the idea of Stoops going to Dallas and Spurrier in Tampa Bay would bring quite the excitement to the XFL 3.0 era. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announced that he and his family tested positive for COVID-19. He made this announcement via his Instagram.
All right. Good morning, by the way, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're at around the world right now. I wanted to give you guys a little helpful update on some of the things that I have been going through on my end for the past 2.5 to 3 weeks now. So the update is this. My wife, Lauren, as well as my 2 baby girls and myself, we have all tested positive for COVID-19. And I could tell you that this has been one of the most challenging and difficult things we have ever had to endure as a family, and for me personally too as well. And I've gone through some doozies in the past. I've gotten knocked about and got my ass kicked a little bit in the past with some challenges, but testing positive for COVID-19 is much different than overcoming nasty injuries or being evicted or even being broke, which I have been more than a few times. And the reason why I feel like this is different is because my number one priority is to always protect my family and protect my children, my loved ones. By the way, I know I speak for all of you guys. It is our number one priority. All of you guys around the world, you always want to protect your family and your babies. And I wish it was only me who tested positive. But it wasn't. It was my entire family. So this one was a real kick in the gut. But I am happy to tell you guys that we as a family are good. We are on the other end of it. We're on the other side. We are no longer contagious, and we are, thank God, we are healthy. And we've gotten through COVID-19 stronger and healthier. And, believe me, I am counting my blessings because like all of us, we all have been hit by this thing, whether it is people we know, family we know, loved ones we know, friends we know. So we are counting our blessings right now because we're well aware that it isn't always the case that you get on the other end of COVID-19 stronger and healthier. I have had some of my best friends have lost their parents, their loved ones, to this virus that is so incredibly relentless and unforgiving, and it is insidious. We are counting our blessings, but we are good. And, I got to tell you, some of the silver linings out of this, and I'm always trying to look for silver linings when challenges come my way, is generally babies and little children can often have little to no symptoms at all. So for our babies, Jazzy and Tia, it was, they had a little sore throat, the first couple of days, but other than that, they bounced back and it's been life as normal. Happy babies running around and playing, but we have isolated ourselves as a family. It's what we had to do. But Lauren and I, it was a little bit different, for Lauren and I. We had a rough go, but we got through it. Again, we got through it as a family. We are stronger, we are better, and we did it together. There are a few takeaways that I want to share with you guys. And I know you have a lot of questions for me, and at some point we'll do a Q&A down the road, which we have been doing our Q&As ever since we've been in quarantine, which of course have been a lot of fun, and I've always enjoyed that, connecting with you guys. But there's a few takeaways that I want to share that I do believe will help you and your families. Number one, to fight COVID-19, because I do not want you to get COVID-19, but God forbid if you do. Some of the things that I've learned and gleaned, the takeaways that I want to share with you, will help you guys get through it and get on the other side, healthy and stronger. Here's how we got COVID-19. We picked up COVID-19 from very close family friends. And these are people who we love and trust. These are people who we still love and trust. And they are devastated, by the way, that they were the ones who picked it up. They have no idea where they picked it up. They're devastated that it led to them infecting our family. With it, luckily, we were able to control it and mitigate it, and it didn't spread out of control. But they, like us, have been incredibly disciplined. You guys know me. I'm a pretty nice guy. I work hard. I like to have a good time, but I am also incredibly disciplined. I am extremely disciplined when it comes to health, when it comes to best practices, when it comes to safety measures for my family and for my loved ones and my friends and people who I care about. I'm very, very disciplined, and I've applied that discipline. We were on lockdown since March with all of you guys too as well. We have been disciplined. We are in quarantine. We have isolated. I have not worked. And I feel like we've done a pretty good job of protecting our family, but like a lot of you guys out there, having your friends over, having your family members over, your loved ones, of course you want that, because you want that connection and you want to be with the people who you love and who you care about and who you have a good time with. My takeaway here isn't necessarily keep them away. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is now apply an even greater discipline to having people over to your house. So now what we're going to do, and believe me, I was disciplined, strict, and stringent before, but now this household, there's going to be new rules that I'm implementing. And I pass this on to you guys. If you guys are having family and friends over to your house, you know them, you trust them, they've been quarantining just like you guys, you still never know. You never know. So take an even aggressive measure. Have them tested, get everybody tested before they come over, have them tested the day before, and if they test positive, you stay away. If you don't, then you come over. So those are some of the things that we're going to be doing, again, because you never know. The other thing that I want to share with you guys, and that was no doubt helpful in getting us through this coronavirus and this COVID-19, was the commitment to wellness and the commitment to health, and doing everything that we could possibly do to boost our immune system. That's my lifestyle anyway, but no doubt, with our immunity, and as we boost our immune system and strengthen our immunity, our immunity and our system is made up of organisms that their one job is to fight toxins, fight infections, fight viruses, fight disease. And now I sound a lot smarter than I actually am, but through this process, I've had an opportunity to speak to great doctors, my own doctor, the world's top epidemiologists, and this is something that they have said and shared that, one of the things that we can all do is just do everything we can to boost our immune system, antioxidants, taking our vitamins, staying hydrated. It goes back to a philosophy I have, my own two hands. We got to control the controllables. And in this case, we can control the controllables, my two-hand philosophy. So the takeaway is be disciplined when it comes to people coming over to your house. Get them tested. You never know. Be extra cautious. Don't let your guard down. Boost your immunity with antioxidants, your vitamins, things of that nature. And if you're already doing that, then great. Keep up the great work. But if you are out there and you're like, well, I'm really going to do it when the new year comes, or I want to do it, I know I should do it, but what should I do? It's really easy. The effort is really minimal. It's just a slight tweak in how you approach things. So that is what I would highly recommend to you guys, to boost your immunity. Because here's the thing. When you have a boosted immune system and your immune system is strong and it's not compromised, then you got a shot. you got a shot at not getting COVID-19. But if you do get COVID-19, God forbid, or if your entire family gets COVID-19 like mine, give yourself a shot. Give yourself chances, better chances, greater chances. Stack the deck in your favor. Have your immune system boosted so you can get on the other side of COVID-19 stronger, hopefully stronger and healthier. The other thing is wear your mask. We have been in quarantine for months. We wear our mask every day. It baffles me that some people out there, including some politicians, will take this idea of wearing masks and make it a political agenda, part of a political agenda, politicizing it. It has nothing to do with politics. Wear your mask. It is a fact, and it is the right thing to do, and it's the responsible thing to do, not only for yourself, but for your family and your loved ones, but also for your fellow human beings. And I know that there's some people out there who have underlying lung conditions. They have COPD. They refuse to wear masks in public. I get it. I understand. My mom was diagnosed with stage 3B lung cancer about 10 and a half years ago. And as many of you know, when you're diagnosed at that stage, you're having conversations you don't want to have, and you're making plans that you don't want to make. And luckily she survived, but they had to remove a lot of her lung through the process of chemo and radiation, and she operates with very low lung capacity. She has COPD too as well. That never goes away, but she wears her mask every day because it's the best thing for her health and her safety. But also, again, it's the right thing to do when it comes to protecting other people, again, your fellow human beings as well. So wear your mask. I'm not a politician. I am a man, though, who cares about my family deeply and will do everything I can to protect them. But I'm also a man who cares about all of you guys. I don't care what political party you're affiliated with. I don't care what part of the world you're from. I don't care what your skin color is, what your job is, what your bank account says. I don't care. I do care about all of you, and I do not want you or your entire family to get COVID-19. Now, we have doctors who are working very hard at the vaccines, and I do believe a year from now, our world is going to look different. I do believe 2 years from now, our world is going to look radically different. I do believe in hope. I do believe in optimism. And I do believe in our doctors, our epidemiologists, our scientists, who are all working so hard to deliver the vaccines for us. And that's going to happen, but that's then. This is now. What can we do now is we can control the controllables. Wear your mask, boost your immune system, think twice about who you have over to your house, and if they are coming over to your house, get them tested. I am sending you guys so much love and so much mana, and stay healthy, my friends. And thank you for all the love and all the support, and certainly for the ones who did know before I made this announcement that my entire family had been hit by COVID-19. I thank you guys for your love and support. So a lot of love and support is happening right now around the world. Use me as your example. Remember these takeaways that I shared with you, and stay healthy, my friends. And I'll see you down the road.
And the message on his Instagram says, for always stay disciplined, boost your immune system, commit to wellness, wear your mask, protect your family, be strict about having people over your house or gathering, stay positive, and care for your fellow human beings. Stay healthy, my friends. DJ, hashtag control the controllables. Big shocker, we're glad that The Rock and everybody and his kids are all safe and gotten through this. It's a scary time for all of us, and even The Rock can get sick from this virus. So, my friends, stay safe and put on your mask and do what you can. Control the controllables, like The Rock says. What's up, XFL Army? If you're a fan of the XFL News Hub and you have a telephone, which I know all of you do because you're sitting there playing on your phones all the time, then why not download the XFL News Hub app? That's right, it's on iTunes. It's on Android. We have an Android version and an iPhone version of the XFL News Hub app. So what do you get? You get the latest news from XFL News Hub, the premier source of XFL news in the universe. Plus, you get push notifications when we have breaking news. You will be the first to know. You can leave a comment on some of the news right from your phone. Plus, you get this podcast on your phone as well. Remember, you can leave us reviews on the Google Play Store or iTunes. It links to other social media, our other social media accounts, and so much more. Be in the know. I know you're on your phones. People are on their phones all the time. They never get off their phones. So why not just download the XFL News Hub app on your Android or iPhone today? All you need to do is go to the Google Play Store or iTunes and just type in XFL News Hub. That's XFL News Hub. Download our app on your phone today.
Hey, is this Dontez?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for agreeing to talk to me today. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So yeah, let's just jump right into it here. For anyone that might not know about your football playing history, why don't you tell me a little bit about that and what led up to you getting to play for the Dragons?
Yeah, so coming out of college, I had a chance to spend a couple months with the Atlanta Falcons before being released after preseason. Later signed with the Memphis Express, so the Alliance Football League.
Gotcha.
And that ended up folding. So after that, I was, trying to get back in the NFL. Nothing ever worked out with that. So I got a chance with the XFL with Tony Softly. He's the one that got me into the NFLPA game coming out of college, so I had really great connections with him with going into the Seattle Dragons. So, yeah, that's the last team I played for. COVID forced everything to shut down, but that was the last team I played for. And currently signed to the CFL, but probably going to opt out.
Yeah, understandable. Just because they just canceled their season, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I remembered seeing that. Well, you got quite the resume there, man. That's awesome. What have you been up to since the league halted? You just been. You said you were signed with the CFL, so you've obviously still been like working out and pursuing all that. What else you been up to?
So I've been doing I've been personal training back home. There's a guy named John Giddens that I'm close with. He has a gym, and he allows me to train clients in his gym right now while I'm back home. So I kind of picked up with that. That allows me to be around and do something that I love, and also get my own workouts in as well to stay in shape and mentally fresh.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Getting to do something that helps you, and you can kind of help other people.
Yep, I agree.
How did you end up finding out that the XFL was initially stopping? Did you hear from like a coach, or did you get an email, or what happened with that?
Yeah, so we kind of heard rumors that it was going to happen, and we still went ahead and had practice and treated it like we was getting ready for a game.
Mm-hmm.
So we was in our hotel just relaxing, and we got a message from our team president or whatever. We had a team meeting, and then they told us everything, and we got a flight back home and got home as quickly as possible before we were locked in Seattle, because they was having a state of emergency, because I know that was one of the first states COVID had broke out in, like really extreme. So we got home pretty fast to make sure we didn't get stuck in Seattle.
And you're back on the East Coast, right? You're where in the East Coast are you?
I'm back home in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where I'm from.
Nice. That's real cool. What do you think of the new owners and stuff? Yeah, I personally think that they bring with them a higher ceiling than McMahon did.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, and they honestly just seem like better. How would I put it? I don't know. Their interest lies more in the players than the business. Like they definitely can handle the business, but it seems like they're very much on the side of the players, which is awesome.
Yep, I agree. Definitely agree.
You have anything that, like, if you were to change anything about how the league was run last year, like anything from rules to like jerseys, like really anything, what would you change, or you think it was good how it was?
Honestly, I can honestly say that I think it's good how it was. I have no complaints.
Nice. Yeah, no, from the outside in, it seemed like it was running really nice.
Yeah, no complaints. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Oliver Luck did a really good job. Yeah, I think honestly that wraps up most of my questions. But do you have anything you want to say to anyone that might be listening, or anyone that might be cheering you on for your comeback?
Basically that, I'm still ready to go. I haven't lost sight or lost focus of the main goal, and I've been taking care of my body. I'm just ready for another chance to get back to doing what I love, which is being on the football field, making plays, and being around my teammates.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely seems like you have not quit with pursuing the CFL and everything. So it's definitely shown in what you've been doing. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really all I got. If you don't have anything else to say, I appreciate your time, man.
No problem. Anytime.
Yeah, and really rooting for you to get that call, man. Best of luck.
I appreciate it.
All right, now on to our social media stuff. And my friends, especially Facebook. Personally, I don't use Facebook anymore because it's just a cesspool of negativity. Let's just put it that way. Every article that we post to Facebook, people keep saying, I hope they leave politics out of it. Otherwise, I'm not going to watch. Well, the fact that you keep saying, like, I can't read anything. There's like an article like Austin McGinnis gets a new shoe, and then some kicking shoe, and then some person's got to write, I love the kicking in the XFL is only the key. It's like, I swear, I think it's like Russian bots going on. So we're not going to touch anything in the Facebook world because every post is either somebody talking about politics and complaining that they don't want politics in the sport, yet they keep bringing up politics in the sport. So why don't you just shut your mouth and talk about the XFL? You want to just talk about the XFL, then talk about the XFL. You want to keep politics out of the sport? Then stop talking about keeping politics out of the sport. I'm so tired of these people complaining that they complain about it, but then they keep bringing it up. We want to talk about the XFL, not politics. You're the one that keeps bringing it up. So shut your mouth. Anyways, on to other stuff. That's just Facebook. Everywhere else, we talk about the XFL. And there's important stuff going on. Wake up. Things are changing. Get over yourself. A lot of what the crap that you're watching and seeing online, a lot of it is Russian bots. I hate to tell you. But I've noticed it on Twitter and I've noticed it on Facebook. These fake accounts pumping up your boy. And meanwhile, it's not even real. And I've seen that multiple times, especially on Twitter and on Facebook. I don't know what the heck is going on. So I can't even read anything from Facebook because I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about the XFL. So, but you can go other places like our YouTube channel and you guys calling in and Twitter, and then we talk about XFL. I don't get it. I was just sifting through. We got like 20 articles, good stuff, and all these posts, these different people posting the same thing. I'm so tired of hearing about it. Yet you people keep bringing it up. Anyways, Michael Castro talking about Danny Garcia and The Rock. I'm so happy the XFL will be back. Hoping it will be soon, but I know it'll take some time for sure. Absolutely. Said they should purchase the AAF teams and merge the XFL. And we brought that up before about the relocation stuff. Need 16 teams in the XFL featuring the Dallas, I guess everybody else. Add 8 teams, Phoenix Scorpions, Minnesota Blizzard, I like that name, Las Vegas Blackjacks, this is from Spock B, Chicago Beasts, Miami Blaze, Denver Rampage, I don't think they'll do that, Atlanta Soldiers, Philadelphia Mafia, okay, come on now. Philadelphia Mafia, that's not going to go over well. But we appreciate the message. Michael Brunette, I think a team in San Antonio would be good for the league. They always seem to fill up the Alamo Dome for their AAF. I agree. I think San Antonio is a great town. Do you really want to have 10 teams in Texas? It'll be 3. Let's see. Jack, our man Jack Stevens, sent us a nice letter. Super fan. He was asking us about if we had stickers. He was a super fan. And we actually are thinking about doing merch. So Jack sent us a message. He says, a big fan. Steve, a sticker. So that got us thinking that we should be doing some kind of merch for you guys. We appreciate the nice, kind letter, Mr. Jack. And Jack is definitely up there as a super fan of XFL. Jalen says, how do you even get a chance to play for a team? We'll find out soon. The best thing to do, I tell people, is the spring league. Join the spring league, get a chance. Steven Garcia says, no more Texas teams. Give other states and cities a chance. Omaha, Columbus, Birmingham. Hell, Arizona could use another team since they got a hand-me-down team from another city, Cardinals, the Phoenix Firebird. That's from Stevan. Another good idea. A lot of people, I mean, you talk about expansion, everybody gets all fired up about expansion. And I agree. I think it'll be, but we just need to get through this first season. On the Twitter, minus the Russian bots that I keep seeing, and they're very easy to pick out. They're not even real. Like the way they just obsessively post over a certain person, and the account has 5,000 tweets, and it's only a month old. You know that's a Russian bot. I'm just putting it out there. On the Rich Mraz, we took a picture. I was watching last night Hard Knocks. We saw, and they had a picture of Storm Norton out there talking about what's going on in the country with fellow teammate there. So I took a picture of it. And it was our boy. Donald Parham is another person out there. We saw it too. Let's see. Oh, about Kenny Robinson getting waived. Yeah, but he got re-signed, so he's okay there. Anyone know if our teams will stay in place like my Battlehawks? This is Adam Impact. Yes, absolutely. There's 100%. They're not going anywhere. There's stuff going on behind the scenes that we're narrowing down, trying to figure out. But it's looking like all these teams will stay in place. We hope to hear something soon. But thanks, Adam Impact. Let's see some other ones. Oh, Don Farlow talks about our team of writers. Great team of writers. They are worth they are all worth following, especially Taylor Springer. Okay, that's nice. Pug Richardson talking about, Kenny Robinson. This is shocking. He showed flashes of brilliance with the Battlehawks. He made some boneheaded play mistakes too. Maybe he can come back in the XFL and be a star. But yeah, he did get re-signed to the practice squad. And that was the thing for me. I was very confused. I was like, you don't usually hear of a guy getting drafted, getting cut, and then put on the practice squad. So I just wonder how that all went down. Let's see. I guess that's it. Oh, 2020 hindsight. Talking about the XFL players cut on cutdown day. So there are a couple players like that who fall under the. Let's see. Will XFL STL insider Freeman says there needs to be a correction. Tyler Gunther was drafted by the Battlehawks, but he never was on their roster. Was signed by the Patriots the day of the XFL draft, went to the Jaguars. Never signed or played it down. Battlehawks. Yeah, that was a name I saw out there too. Rashard Davis, the DC, he never played. There was a couple guys that never played. We tried for the most part on our list to make sure it was guys that actually played in the XFL and played it down in the XFL. All right, let's get to our, you know what time it is. Our first phone call, of course.
Hi, this is Richard from Twitter, better known as Richard O. For Real. I just want to congratulate all the XFL players who made the NFL team. That either practice or regular squad. I also would like to hope The Rock and his family get well. And my thing is, with all the CFL players and all the free agents that's around, I can't wait for the league to start up. I just wonder when they're going to do it because we got a lot more quality players out there that would like to play. I know they would like to play. And last but least, if I had to relocate teams, it would be San Diego, San Antonio, Orlando, and Birmingham as my favorite. And like I said, are they going to change the uniform this year maybe? Probably 2 years from now, since The Rock is like contract with Under Armour. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
All right, Richard, checking in. I don't think the uniforms are going to change. I don't think locations are going to change. I could definitely see an Under Armour XFL relationship 100%. I think the Rock's. I think the Rock is with Under Armour. That's got to be in the works. There's no question about that. Um, but I don't see any relocation. I don't see any teams moving this year, and we'll see it next year. I really think it's going to be a season in a bubble, but they need to, especially with the uncertainty of everything with college football. I think the NFL will definitely make it through a season. It's just the momentum would just be crushed if you didn't take a shot at playing a game in the bubble. It's only 8 games. It's not a long time. It's not a 52, like the Major League Baseball or NBA. You could do it in a bubble and get it done. We've heard nothing of what's going to happen with the NBA and NHL going into 2021. I'd be really curious to see what they are doing. But I definitely think we get that they need to do the season in the bubble. So I appreciate Richard checking in, super fan as well. He's a tier 1 quarterback of our XFL army we got going on here. Paulina and somebody else, JR. Hey, how's it going? Wondering, did you know about the tryouts? And talking about spring tryouts. So both people were asking me about tryouts. And my thing with tryouts is you have to be invited first. You can't just show up and try out. The Rock might change things, but guys like Eric Galco is a guy that you need to follow on Twitter. And your best bet is the Spring League, is play in the Spring League to get seen, and maybe you'll get an invite to the XFL. That's really your way. If you're like, hey, no one knows who I am, your only way in, aside from sending tape to everybody, you need to spend a little money to make a little money, and that's play in the Spring League and get an opportunity there to get seen. That's what you need to do, and we get that question a lot about tryouts in the XFL. Season ticket holder refunds. Jim says, I purchased season tickets, agreed to roll over them. Later I heard we get refunds. Called to contact Ticketmaster. What to do? Wait until there's an announcement. The bankruptcy and the season ticket holder money is all related. That was one of the first people they were going to pay back. That's all unwinding at this point. So I would just stay put, stay tight. Don't worry. Just stay the course and see what happens over the next month or two when it comes to season ticket holder money. Let's go to another phone call.
Hello. I was actually the one who called last week. This is Lek from Indianapolis again. And sorry it didn't go through, so I'll try to say everything I said last time. My feeling about the league moving forward is that they should forget about 2021 and just aim at 2022. I think if they tried to do a 2021 season right now, I think it would just be too rushed. This is September 1st now. And I think getting all the teams together, getting all the players and everything would be a monumental task. And then it would likely be before the disease is cleared up enough that people would feel comfortable going to sporting events again. And my feeling is that having a bubble season would be a big mistake. And I say that based on the abysmal TV ratings of MLB, the NBA, and most recently the Indianapolis 500 locally, which unfortunately was a total farce this year, had by far the lowest TV ratings ever. People just don't like bubble sports in general, even for well-established events such as the leagues I just named or the Indianapolis 500 too. So I think a league that has only existed for one half of one season would have very poor ratings in a bubble season. So what I would suggest is to aim at 2022, playing in February of 2022, in the likely event that the disease will have subsided by then. I think that's the way to go, but that's my opinion. We'll see what happens. I look forward to hearing other people's opinions too, and whatever happens, I just hope it's best for the long term of the league, because I have no doubt that if the league is run properly, it will be a long-term off-season.
All right, Lek, checking in. You know what? I'm two parts to this. One, there is my heart, and then my brain. My heart says we need to do it now. We need to, keep the momentum going. Lek brings up a good point. My brain says probably be better to give it a year. You figure let things play itself out over the course of the rest of the year. And then, February, March hits, then you can start, you can sometime in the new year start hiring coaches, start bringing in, and then you can do tryouts and hopefully things have kind of cleared up at that point. But there's just, and I understand the ratings. Now, I do a sister podcast, AEW, and they do stuff in a bubble, and their ratings are good. They just started bringing AEW wrestling. So I check the ratings often, and I know that NBA, NHL, well, especially NBA, not NHL, but NBA rate, I mean, it's always rated number one on cable for the night. Now, whether it's, they get 2 million viewers and they used to be getting 5 million, that I don't know. I just know that they're number one, and the NBA is, number one for the night with those things. Plus, it's football. I think, we're talking right now is September. We have all the way until February. I mean, a lot has changed in March, since March to now. And then you have another 6 months on top of it. You're really just turning things back on and going for a season. I mean, they already have the names and everything, and they have the rule book. You just change nothing. Just turn the lights on, get all the agreements in place, and restart this thing and get through a season. And then you can... TV's clamoring for live events, even if the ratings aren't that great. I just think you're going to lose a lot of momentum if you just don't do a season in 2021. But I get it, but I'm fearful of it because you don't want to wait. I mean, just think if Vince McMahon owned the XFL right now, and we've talked about this before. He could have easily just flipped the switch back on now and finished his season in September. All right, we're going to do it in bubble. We're going to do it in Houston, and we're going to finish the XFL season in September when college football is wishy-washy. He could have done that. So it's a tough call. It's a tough call. It'll be really interesting. We should know something soon because we can't wait until October to find out if we have a season. There needs to be a draft. Coaches need to get teams together. But these guys are pros. This is not like you're getting somebody that's never played football before. All these guys have played football before. And honestly, I think they could get things going in 3 or 4 months. If they just got their teams practice, I mean, you could do it. So we just kind of have to wait and see. But appreciate the phone call. It's a lot to think about. Like I said, my heart says I want a season in February. My brain says, you might want to wait till 2022. Finally, Nicholas checking in. We haven't heard from him in a long time. Our Tier 1 emailer. He says, I'm so excited to see the XFL coming back. I do not know if they will be able to play in 2021, but if they are able to, it is some great talent available. Paxton Lynch, Deshaun Kaiser, David Fales, Davis Webb, Kyle Salter, Mason Fine, Jamar Smith, Kelly Bryant, Tyler Huntley, Kevin White, Tawan Taylor, Corey Coleman, Laquan Treadwell, Ryan Switzer. 2021 should have a solid pool of players to choose from. I agree with that. I think the XFL should replace the LA market. I know it's premature, but I do not think it's a good appetite for football there. I agree with you there. Richard talked about San Diego. I'm all for it. Put a team in San Diego. I'm going out there to visit. In LA, not so much. I know it's premature to think. Also, I think there should be an upgrade of the coaching on some teams. It's coaching, I know for sure, but that should be back, and that's Stoops, Hayes, Jones. But beside those three, the other ones are up for debate to me. Maybe now we can get a T. Martin, Chris Wenke, Mike Malarkey, or Bobby Petrino type to increase the offensive outputs of some teams, but time will tell. I'm fine with all the coaches come back. I would love to see Spurrier and back in Tampa. That's the only one that I would switch Trestman to Tampa out and then put Spurrier in. I mean, do you move Trestman to DC? Would you do that? Put Spurrier in Florida, and if Trestman wants DC, he can have DC. And then, because you lost Pep Hamilton, maybe that's the way you go. So thank everybody for checking in on the social media. All right, thanks for all your social media stuff, the phone calls. Plus, we want to thank Dontez Byrd for appearing on the show, talking with our Matt Lyons. We have more interviews coming up. And speaking of our writers of XFL News Hub, we're actually doing our own fantasy football draft this week. So you might want to check out our social media stuff on Twitter and Facebook, perhaps. You know, I'm a big fan of Facebook at this point. But you could check out that kind of stuff and see how we did in our draft. We're having a regular old NFL draft. Everybody, 12 people. That's right. We have 12 paid people on our staff and growing to be part of this draft. And then we're going to do a big champion at the end. The champion, of course, is going to get XFL gear, as well as we're working on our own XFL fantasy football app. That's right. I've told you that before. But we appreciate Matt Lyons. We appreciate Dontez Byrd. We appreciate you guys for checking in with us. You can follow us everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, XFL News Hub. Be watching us on YouTube. Just give us a like and a subscribe and hit that notification so you can get it all every time we get some news coming out. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show. We really appreciate that. You can listen to us anywhere. You can find podcasts, show notes, xflnewshub.com/xfl-podcast. Join us on our Discord. As news breaks, we're going to keep going week after week. We got some more great interviews coming up for you guys. That's it for me, folks. Thanks for listening. Mahalo. Put your mask on, and I will see you all later.